This is Iready Practice and Problem Solving, pages 223 and 224. It says, a pie is baked in a circular pan with a diameter of 10.5 inches. What is the approximate area of the pie that is left after half of the pie is eaten? Okay, so we have half of a pie, and the diameter, it tells us, is 10, and I'm going to use 0.5. The reason is this curriculum allows us to use a calculator, and it's easier to put that half in as 0.5 rather than as the fraction 1/2. So it wants the approximate area of the pie that's left after half is eaten. So area of a circle is found by pi radius squared. So the first thing I have to do is I have to figure out the radius. Well, the radius is half the diameter. So the first step is saying 10.5 divided by 2. Well, half of 10 is 5, and half of 50 cents is 25 cents, is how I think of that. So now I have my radius of 5.25. Well, I'm going to take my formula, and where radius is, I'm going to plug in 5.25. I need to square that and then multiply by 3.14. But remember how it said half of the pie? I have to divide this entire answer by 2. Now, all I've got to do is take my calculator and calculate, and I'm going to start by squaring 5.25. So that would be 5.25 times 5.25, and that gives me 27.5625, and then I need to multiply that by 3.14. That gives me 86.54625, and then I need to divide that by 2, and I get the final answer of 43.273125. Since it says approximate, I would write 43 as my answer. So the area that was left would be 43 inches squared. You would always want to put that square inches or inches squared. The next question says, Ms. Klein's class is playing games using a circular parachute during recess. The parachute has a radius is halfway, of 8 feet. What is the area of the parachute? Well, area equals pi, which is 3.14 approximately, times the radius squared, 8 squared. Well, 8 squared is 8 times 8, which is 64. So when I say 3.14 in my calculator times 64, I get 200.96. So it didn't ask me to round on this, so I would just put feet squared there, or square feet, either one. Number 8 is an interesting question because it gives us an exact measurement. By using pi in the answer, it's exact. The exact area of a circle, area of course is everything inside this circle, the exact area is 81 pi square inches. What are the radius and the diameter? So the radius would be halfway and the diameter would be all the way. Well, what I would do first is I realize that if the area is pi radius squared, then 81 must stand for what r squared is. So in other words, r squared equals 81. Well, what number times itself is 81? 9. So the radius is 9. And then 9 times 2 gives me 18 for the diameter. So radius is 9 and diameter is 18. This last question I really like because it makes me think about our previous learning when we did circumference and apply it to area. So it says Simon has 18.5 feet of fencing. He makes a circular garden with the fencing. What is the area of Simon's garden to the nearest square foot? So they give us the circumference. If this blue circle, the line outside, it equals 18.5 feet around this circle, right? So knowing that, that's my circumference. And we know that circumference, we need the 2 pi r. And the reason is area is pi radius squared. So I know I need the one that has the r in it because I need to find the area. So it tells us that 18.5 is the circumference. That's the distance that the fencing covered around it. So then 2 times 3.14 times r will give me 18.5. So 18.5 equals, well, 2 times 3.14 is 6.28. Then to get r by itself, the opposite of multiplying by r would be to divide. So these cancel, and I get r equals whatever 18.5 divided by 6.28 is. So I'm going to say 18.5 divided by 6.28, and I get 2.9458, and it keeps going. Now, I need to take that amount. That's my radius, right? Well, it's very close to 3. So I'm going to go ahead and round it to 3. So if my radius is 3, I'm going to take 3.14 times 3 squared. So it's going to be 3.14 times 9. 3.14 times 9. That means my area is approximately 28.26, and it said to the nearest square foot, so it's going to be 8 feet squared.